how to use quantum entanglement to manifest fast. That's what we're going to do today. So I'm going to show you how you can use your mind's eye and influence the quantum field. The field is where all things come into existence. So we have a term in quantum mechanics that is known as quantum entanglement or entanglement. I'm going to share with you how you can use this powerful information about the nature of reality and quantum physics to basically manifest and create whatever you want. I'm going to show you how you can become actually entangled with your dreams, goals, desires, and then you can exercise your power and energy to manifest it real fast. So let's get into it. All right. So what is quantum physics? Quantum physics shows us how everything in our world works. It shows us how you and I exist. It shows us how the things you desire exist. It basically shows how all the things you see and think is real comes into existence. But not only that, it profoundly shows us that everything we see is not even solid. That's right, it's energy. See, in quantum physics, we have an atom. The atom is what all of us are familiar with. But the atom is predominantly empty space. It's in the nucleus, that little part where the electron revolve. That's what we call matter. That's what we see as real stuff. So if we can influence that nucleus where the electron is, then we can influence what we call our physical reality, because from the quantum world comes the real world. So in the quantum world, it's called the micro, and in the real world, it's called the macro. Macro and micro. So physicists discovered that the micro affects the macro. That's right. They've actually teleported macro material now. They can teleport real molecules. That's never been done before. We always thought the quantum world works different, but now we know that they all work together and they affect each other. So let me show you how it is. So now we have to know what is entanglement, right? What is quantum entanglement? How can this be powerful? How can I use this to create what I want? So quantum entanglement is basically when you have two particles. Let's look at the electron. And you can send information or something far away. You can take the particles, you can split them. You can take one particle, you can send it to the other end of the universe, and the other particle will know exactly what that other particle is due. So if that particle says, I'm going up, the other particle automatically knows what's going on. So the information is tied. Something is tying that particle or information together. That's what they call quantum entanglement. Albert Einstein used to call it spooky action from a distance because he couldn't believe that the universe worked that way. As a matter of fact, he once said that God doesn't play dice with the universe. And of course, he passed away before he realized that he was wrong, that actually quantum entanglement is true, and that it is really spooky action from a distance. That's right. So you can affect whatever you want. It cannot be separate from you. But the key is you have to become entangled with it. You have to get that desire, that dream, to become one with you, so the information that you're sending back and forth, the universe can pick it up, and then it can create the correct frequency or vibration so that you can get in tune and you can manifest it fast. So here's how we're going to do our quantum entanglement. All right. So what we want to do, first, you want to have an idea, or you got to know what you want, what your desire is. So take a minute, and this is a visual, so we're going to use our mind's eye. So what you want to do, okay, what do you want? So make up your mind. You can write it down, or you can have it in your head. This is what I want. This is what I want. So have everything you want. And then what you want to do, we're going to use images to represent what you want. So the first thing we're going to do a visual. So we're going to go in our mind's eye. So we're going to see all your desires. And we're going to put a big bubble like an atom. So we know how the atom looks, but create a nice bubble of energy. Then in the bubble, you're going to put all your desires, whatever it is you want, a career, a home, a mate, love, health, money, anything you desire to manifest, throw it in that bubble. Okay? So when you see that bubble, make sure that bubble is transparent. Now that bubble is our electron. Okay, that's our first wave. That's our electron. So everything is in that bubble. All right. So you see that bubble. So what you want to do, so you have that bubble. Now you want to project yourself. So you want to see yourself in first or third person, doesn't matter. But put yourself somewhere comfortable, maybe in your favorite place. Maybe you're sitting down. So you're sitting down, and then when you sit down, you want to look up. And when you look up, you see your bubble, your particles, your life, your dreams. They're all in this bubble, and it's spinning above your head. So you're looking up at it, okay? Now we're gonna get it entangled, and we're gonna merge it. We're gonna become quantum entangled with our particle. And I'm gonna show you how this works and powerful the science behind this. All right, so now we see our bubble up there, and in our bubble we have all our desires. Now we're gonna take an energy now. So you're looking up. So let's go to your heart. So from your heart, we're gonna create a plasmic wave. Basically, put an energy string or strand. Make it look like an energy, just maybe like a bolt of lightning coming from your heart. Zoom, 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 boom. And it's connected to that bubble. So now you're tied, like a belly, like you know, the belly button or umbilical cord. But you put in this energetically cord. So it's like an umbilical cord, but it's an energy type of cord. Okay. Now, when you connect that energy cord to your bubble, give your energy cord a color. Very high color that represents manifestation. So very high colors are usually, powerful colors are usually purple, red, white, blue. Any of those colors really are powerful manifesting colors. So we're going to connect them, all right? Now that we've connected them, so what you want to do now, so you want to see yourself there. You see your umbilical cord from your heart. It's an energy cord. Now it goes up, boom, it's connected to your bubble. All right, now you are entangled. You're entangled now in the mind's eye, all right? So here's what we're gonna do next. So now that we got our entangled, now we wanna bring it in to become fully entangled. So what you do now is you look up, and then you start to pull your bubble towards you. So that bubble now is coming down. Remember now, it's a huge bubble. But as soon as it starts to come down to you, the bubble starts to shrink, shrink, and shrink, and it goes right into your heart. Boom! You are now entangled with your desires. That's quantum entanglement to manifest. All right, so you're telling me that all I have to do is visualize this and it works? Yes, let me show you what happens now. You have to remember that reality is really immaterial. It's not objective, it's subjective. So whatever you see in the mind's eye, it's actually unfolding somewhere in space and time. To your mind and the brain, it's real. And when we see things in our mind's eye, what do we use to process that information? We use electromagnetic energy. We use electricity chemicals that our brains produce. They fire off in these neurons. And what are those electrical chemicals or electricity made of? Particles, atomic particles, electrons. So when you think something in your mind's eye, you're firing off electrons. You're firing off the very thing that creates your desires. So by the fact of you doing this, you are communicating with the universe to say that I am part of this, therefore you become entangled. Now when you merge that and become one, now the information is stored. So now what happens is, if you do this exercise over, I would recommend you do it twice a day. Once in the morning, once before in the night. What you're going to notice now is you're going to start to see the confirmation of your desires start to show up. You may see images of it. You may hear people talking about it. You are now entangled to manifest what you want. The things you want now become a part of you. And remember, in quantum physics, there is no logic or thinking. The universe works with frequency and energy. So these particles, they create everything. So when you become entangled with it, there is no difference. There is no thinking or reason with it. In other words, the universe will never say to you, well, this can't work. It doesn't happen like that. No, because that's the nature of reality. The only thing we'll say that is your mind. And we know our intellect mind does not have a true and powerful understanding of how the nature of reality works. But this is what quantum physics says, and this is what the experiments have shown, and this is how quantum entanglement works. So once you become entangled with the very thing that you're desiring, it becomes a part of you now. It's in your heart. Invisible is visible. In the mind's eye, it must show out in the physical. So you are now entangled. So when you walk around every day, you have your desires bubbling up in that field. So what happens now? The subconscious mind picks up that information and energy. Now it starts to send it back out, and then you start to what? Attract it. It starts to come into you. Now when it starts to come into you, you'll notice you'll start to manifest a lot faster, because you have now have the awareness that you and whatever you want are one. You're entangled. So that means wherever you go, whatever distractions you have, whatever, if you fall out for a little bit, if you lose focus, you will never depart from it. It's always in you. It's entangled now. You can't leave it anymore. The only way you can become untangled or break your cord is if you change your mind. If you decide you want something else, then you break it. Once you make a decision, you change your universe, you change your reality. You see how it works? That's the power of quantum entanglement. So you can use this in the mind's eye and create in your physical world.